Good morning. This is Jeremy Williams with SLI here at 3457 Rosewood Avenue in Mar Vista, performing a video examination of the main sewer line. The main sewer line is defined as the portion of waste drainage piping that is exterior to a structure. It lies underground and it connects the building drainage system, which is the piping underneath or interior to a structure, to the city sewer, which is underneath the alley at this property's case, which we're looking into right now, 82 feet into the line. As we pull the camera backwards, the piping from here all the way back is the responsibility of each individual property owner. Right here we have some concrete piping. You can see that the joint here is a little bit separated. Now it looks a lot bigger than it might actually be, just from this perspective. However, the key thing here is, one, there's no root intrusions at this joint, and then more importantly, we haven't run any water for a bit, and this water is just holding in here, which would tell you that the pipe is sealed. It's just not lined up perfectly, and that can happen with clay piping. Clay, when connected, overlaps itself, so there's about a 3-inch overlap, and sometimes it'll just not line up perfectly during installation. Right here we are in a material called cast iron. Cast iron is a metal. It rusts and corrodes over time. It has an average design life expectancy of about 60 to 80 years. Its failure occurs inevitably after the years of rusting and corroding. The pipe wall thins out to an unacceptable level. This cast iron is showing signs of significant age. You can see how it's bubbling and blistering. It looks very old, and it actually does look like it's very close to outliving its useful design life if it hasn't done so already. I'll be locating where it's at just so we have the information. That being said, as old as it looks, it hasn't stopped the system from it's not stopping the system from working at this point. And it might be a few years before it does. Right here we're in clay. Now you saw that we have just a little bit of a lip here. This goes back to the fact that the pipes don't always line up perfectly. There's a little debris there, and so what it's doing is creating a little bit of a pooling of water. As new water is introduced, it just drains on through. You can see the water level is right at the camera level, which is not very deep. It's maybe a ½ inch of water. Again, there it's not lined up perfectly, which is why that water is building, but that's not an unacceptable level at this point. Things like that are situations you want to keep an eye on. We have no history on this line. I couldn't tell you if the pipe was simply installed that way or if it's something that's slowly happening over time. The only way to try to gain that information is to look at the sewer line every couple of years so we can then monitor changes, if any at all, from one examination to the next. Overall, we're definitely dealing with an older system, and there's signs of age. Right here we have a bit of root intrusions at the joints. Roots at these joints, extremely common and typical, really to be expected. These are not severe roots. They do, however, rely on a maintenance routine being used to cut them out of the system, usually on about a yearly basis. This line is showing evidence that it was recently cleaned with these. I don't have any confirmation of that, but it would appear that it has been. So I would recommend that the next cleaning be done within about 8 or so months, and then every basically year thereafter. All that discoloration, anything that's not strictly orange, is just debris buildup that's using these sewer lines. Right here we have a joint that's not quite lined up right. Again, no root intrusions. This is a little bit more of an offset than I typically like to see. But my bigger concern is that this lip should be holding a bit of water. For it not to could only mean that that water is leaking somewhere. There's simply just not enough space for it. Anytime you have a sewer line starting to leak into the surrounding soil, it's something that you really want to get fixed. If you allow that to continue, and more importantly, if you allow it to get worse, it could lead to not worth and safety concerns. It's just not worth it. Right here we're in newer plastic, and this plastic actually runs us all the way back to this entry point. The plastic is by far the best material available for sewer lines. This plastic looks very good. Not seeing any problem. I am going to stop the recording to locate that one area. Find it again right here. We're going to go ahead and find out where this is at.